And a very good evening to everybody. This is RPM Esports F1 coming to you from Hungary. We are at the round 4 in our season 1 in the mid-gear tier. And I am joined on commentary tonight by my co-commentator RPM Bakker. If you are there, sir, can you hear me?
A very good evening. I am here.
You are there.
Great to be here.
And what are you drinking this evening whilst doing commentary? Just the first most important thing.
I walked into the comms booth, noticing you already having a Desperados. So I went out and got myself some.
Very nice, very nice. So tonight, as long as you're hydrated, that's the main important thing throughout the commentary. So just before we start the race, we're going to do something, or the qualifying, sorry, we're going to do something a little bit different, something new that we're just trialing for tonight's stream. So the first thing is we're going to look at the driver standings in mid-gear so far. So we've had 3 rounds up to now, and this is the driver table as you can see it here. So we've got Jetfish leading the championship in first place in the Red Bull with 104 points with 2 wins. In second place we have F1 Richie in the Ferrari, only 20 points behind Jetfish. In third place we have Pui in the McLaren with 2 podiums, no wins as of yet, but looking promising for this evening. Also 1 fastest lap, so very fast driver as we know. In fourth place Big Puggy, 5th Veronic, 6th Shack Attack, 7th Luke VDM. We don't know what VDM stands for just yet, but we're going to go with Vandermark. We then have in 8th place we have Shigs in the Williams, so 59 points behind Jetfish. In 9th place we have the model RPM Dragos in the Alfa Romeo. In 10th we have Mirko, who has now switched to low gear, so Mirko will no longer be in this championship, will have moved to the low gear. So taking that place in 10th will be Zabiaka, and behind him we have the Maverick in the AlphaTauri and Ephron in the Aston Martin, making up the top 12 when Mirko has been removed. Quickly to finish off, just looking at the constructors standings and see how they look. So Williams leading at the moment, the pairing of Big Puggy and Shigs, so with 117 points. Only 3 points behind the Williams we have the Red Bulls, and in third place we have Ferrari, followed by McLaren, Haas, Alpine down in 6th. Come on guys. In 7th place we have the Mercedes team, Aston Martin in 8th, Alfa Romeo in 9th, and AlphaTauri right behind Alfa Romeo, only 1 point behind, making up 10th place. So as we go now back to the drive-in here, we will go on board first of all with who's the next person coming in on the lap, Bakker, if you can help direct me.
It should be one of the Mercedes. Shack Attack crossing the line, but invalidated somehow, and his teammate going in.
Evil Master, aka the student, is going back in the pits, so he must have had a bit of a slip off there. And as we go on board with Shack now, we'll do a bit more. We have a yellow in sector 1 and 2, that's obviously just for drivers getting out of the way. For those of you that are in the chat, Boris and Lucas, a very warm welcome. We have a few guys supporting one of our new drivers, Jens, I think, if that's correct, Bakker. You know a little bit better than me on that.
I do, it is Jens.
If you could let us know the microphone settings, please, if anybody can just give us a bit of a heads up in terms of how the microphones are set, that would be very, very useful. Always great that we get that ready for the race. So we're on board with Shack at the moment. Laur, if I got that right. I've had elocution lessons before the race tonight. Is that correct, Bakker? Laur?
Laur is also correct, yes.
Lovely. I'm going to get extra points. So Laur, I'm going to call him Law because it's easier for me. We're not naturals at rolling our tongues. It was British. So yeah, Law setting the pace with a 1:14.6.
Jens putting in his first lap.
So
Yeah.
Jens is the driver that's just joined RPM and making his debut this evening as a reserve driver, if I'm not mistaken.
For now he is, yes.
And he's in the Alpha Tauri. So we'll keep an eye on Jens tonight. Always Rick, our absolute favourite, and we need to make sure that the commentator's curse does not take place this evening. So we're not going to cover too much of Rick. His millions of fans will be a bit disappointed, I'm sure. But he's in the pits anyway. Matt Johnson did make it home from work on time, so that's fantastic.
Has been different.
On board with Matt at the moment.
On his out lap. Might be the first one actually to set a lap in at the moment, so.
Okay, so we'll stay on board with Matt. What did Matt say in the press room, or was he too busy at work?
I do think Matt was too busy at work. I will have a look for you on my sheet, and he didn't fill in the question, so I can't give you an answer on that question.
Okay, so
I'm sorry.
Our PR department will be having a word with Matt as we go on board with him on the first sector. Just a reminder for anybody that may be watching RPM for the first time. At RPM we do run a telemetry system called IGK TAS, so all the drivers have a share in their telemetry with us in commentary, which is an absolute fantastic system provided to us by Thibaut and IGK TAS. So a massive thanks to him in getting us up and running. Something that we find extremely useful at the commentary, and I know that the drivers absolutely love getting the reports at the end of the race as well. So Matt's struggling, actually. Looks like he's struggling on this.
He invalidated his lap.
He has indeed, yeah. So
well,
maybe.
So now we got Evil Master right behind you as well.
So Evil Master
also invalidated.
Mercedes also invalidated. So Evil Master was on comms last night with Shack Attack that some of you may have watched. So oh my goodness, he's taken an extremely wide line there, so already invalidated. But yeah, he joined Shack last night. None of us are professional commentators, as you may have already gathered. So a massive thanks to him for that, and also to Shack. Great job. Sorry that the legend didn't get the result that you guys were hoping for, but then we'll see next time. I'm not quite sure if anybody's worthy of that tag, to be honest. Apart from F1 Richie, which is not in the race, is he? Where is Richie?
He's in P4.
He's in P4, so he did make it into the lobby. Fantastic.
To pole. His teammate just took pole on his mid-gear debut as well.
So the Ferrari is looking very strong.
Does have some pace, of course.
Westboy joining us also in the chat. A very good evening. I hope you've recovered from your injury on Monday evening. Once again, apologies for that dive bomb. Sent him into the medical centre.
Taking the provisional pole at the moment, but it looks to be like a tight fight between Laur and Teronix, where Jetfish is currently coming up and 7/10 up on his time, so he will mix himself in between those two.
I've just got on board with Jetfish now, so he's coming up to finish his lap. As Matt Johnson enters the pits, comes out onto the straight, hits the DRS, and Jetfish goes into second with a 1:14.5. So he splits Theronix and Laur.
Top 5 is close, by the way. Theronix is off. I just switched to him, and I don't know why, because he's on his in lap.
And we have a yellow. I don't know whether that's for people getting out of the way. We've just jumped on board with Luke. If you can help me knowing who is the next driver that's coming on a lap.
I am trying to find out, but there's a lot of blue colors in this game.
There is indeed. And when you're half colourblind like myself, it's incredibly difficult.
Richie was the first one. Improved his time with 1:10, so will be happy already, I guess, having that P6. You know, he's consistent.
And we have another new driver debuting in RPM tonight called
Jens
Rozilla,
coming through.
who is driving for the... Which car is Rozilla driving for?
It's in the Haas.
He's in the house. I don't know why, but I keep wanting to call him Rodzilla.
Yeah, I got
It's
the
like
same.
it's like the name's missing a D. So if
Godzilla.
if later on we do call him Rodzilla, then apologies for that, but it's out of affection. You'll get used to us at RPM for things like that. Pui down in 10th place, so I don't think Pui will be too happy with that.
Shack Attack just completely lost it. Broke his
Yes.
left front wing, his right front wing, and may have lost a tire as well.
I'm staying on board with Pui for this lap. So I've raced against Pui before, and he's a really, really quick driver. I don't think he does too much practice in between races. He just tends to pick it up and run with it on the evening, and seems to be incredibly quick. Obviously, he got a lot of that talent from Trevor, the guy that he bought his PS4 from. But we've never heard from Trevor, so if he is watching, Trevor, I hope you're keeping well, and maybe we'll catch up with you sometime in the future. As Pui goes massively wide, does not invalidate, and is 2/10 up, so that will raise a little bit of contention in the steward's room, I think, catching that on stream, and maybe something that we need to be aware of. So Pui goes up to
Vehicle
4th.
master crossing the line right now, looking for a real fast time.
I have
1:15.1. It looks way fast.
I have a funny feeling that if our chief steward Boris is watching, which I think he is, he would have seen that on stream, and now he knows exactly what the guys are talking about when we talk about turn 11. But let's leave that one there. Who's the next one on a lap? Evil Master.
I do think the first one coming through is Dragot. He's 4 seconds up in sector 2, so he won't. We can have on board with always spinning Rick at the moment, who just started his lap. I know you're not a fan of it, but let's give it some time.
Let's give him some airtime. We'll go on with him. He's actually on his lap at the moment.
Really strong line there. This is the corner he fears the most.
And me.
Goes extremely wide as well.
Doesn't invalidate because he didn't gain any time, I don't think. The curbs on that chicane this time around is
they are extremely high.
We have Octavio also in the chat. A very good evening to you, Octavio, and a massive happy birthday from all of everyone at RPM for yesterday. Hope you had a great birthday. You did miss a great race, but we'll see you again next week. So Rick is coming up to close out his lap now.
Almost 4 seconds up on his time, so.
And he's going to go over the line with a 1:15.6, which puts Rick into 12th place, just ahead of Rodzilla. So we then have another debutant in RPM mid-gear this evening, who goes by the name of Spivvy, or we think. It looks like we have rain.
It does look like it, yes.
It looks like we have a drop of rain.
Side rain falling now, and it won't stop for the next 60 minutes, so we won't qualify on dry tires anymore. What also means the next minute is going to get very boring.
Well, not really, because we've got a few things up our sleeve called the press room answers.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't worry about that. We will get that covered off. What's interesting now is that you've got the Mighty Frax, Shigs, Zabiaka and Big Puggy, who have not set a lap time in the dry. So if it now starts to rain, then It just says cloudy for quali. In the telemetry system, it just says that we're going to get cloudy for all of
Yeah, but it
quali.
also says light rain.
13%. Rain expected 13%. So not only do we have to be commentators, we have to be weathermen
Evil
as well.
Master is also out.
He is. So this rain is falling.
I'm
I'm on board with the
hopping on
mighty
board.
Frax now.
Zabiaka is out. Jens just lost it in turn 5 as well. It's getting really slippery out
Wow.
here.
And Theronix goes even quicker, and
Oh,
Jens
and
has
then
just gone off and
yeah, he tried
pushed
to get out of the
Frax.
way.
He did indeed. He did indeed. And then reversed into Frax as Frax was trying
Yeah,
to
he
reverse
deserved
out
that.
as well.
But
So
he's getting another 5-place grid penalty. What is its terrain?
that's unfortunate. That is really unfortunate because it was obvious that he was trying to get things.
He was on the middle of the racing line, so he just tried to get out of the way.
So
yeah, unfortunate for him, but it's all about the Sunday.
it is. It is indeed. I'm just following a little bit of what's gone on in the chat there. So there's nothing that we can do about that turn 11. We're just relying on the good sportsmanship of our drivers, and it is what it is, guys. So let's talk about it afterwards. Let's focus on the positives of this race. So we're still on board with the mighty Frax, who's still trying to get a lap in, but I mean, this is going to be incredibly difficult now because this track's getting wetter and wetter.
I'm watching Rick at the moment, who is even struggling to get inside pit lane, so it does look like there's no laps coming in anymore. Lauris somehow still on track. But
we are at the end of quali, so this looks like it is going to be our grid, and there was some grid penalties also. So it looks like in pole position with a 1:14.2 is Theronix. 2/10 behind is Pui, so Pui did make up some good progress. Question mark over turn 11, but we are leaving it right there. Lauer in third place with a 1:14.5, only a 10th behind. Jetfish very, very close to Law, so Jetfish has come back really well.
yeah, yes, he did. He really did, yes.
Ephraim in 5th, Luke in the Alpine in 6th, Matt Johnston, good lap from Matt, 14.9. Richie in 8th place. Then we've got the 2 DNFs of the Mercedes guys. So big shame for those guys in 9 and 10, but it won't worry them. What will probably annoy them even more is that they don't get to start on the 11th, but it looks like in the race that we've got light rain at the start of the race, overcast in 10 minutes after 10 minutes, and then clearing up to cloudy and sun at the end. So I mean, this is going to be a really interesting race. Al in 11th. We've got Always Rick in 12th. We've got Rodzilla in 13th. Rozilla, sorry. We have the model, Dragos, in 12th, 1:15.5. And the screen has just gone off with the timings. So back to the press room, Backer. Did you find anything particularly interesting in the press room that you'd like to share with us?
Well, what is pretty interesting for me personally is we all know Evil Master, and he will already be happy if he actually finishes this race.
Yeah, he's not had a lot of luck,
He's been
has he?
very unlucky
In this game.
The game putting him, yeah, having pit stop glitches and putting him stuck on the grass multiple times. So I get it, he wants, but Tyronix is really going for P1.
He said that in the press room, has he?
Yeah, he did. And most of the drivers are really, yeah, turn 3 and 4 are the hardest turns for everyone, basically everyone. Some people even find the entire sector 2 very hard to take. So
yes,
it's not really a track to overtake either. So
I can confirm after my very challenging race last night in low gear, great race for everybody, I think. But yeah, those corners. I think the combination of the different handling model for this year's game and also the raising of the curbs, I think has made some corners absolutely deadly. And you've got to really practice to understand which ones are going to spin you out and which ones are not. But
Yeah,
as they
but
say,
all strategies, we cannot just throw all strategies overboard. I just watched the rain, and it's like 30 minutes of rain in here in the race, and then it starts to dry up. So the last, what is it, 10, 12, 13 laps will be on a dry track. So there's no point in going for your medium soft strategy anymore.
no. Well, everybody's starting on inters anyway. Absolutely everybody on the full grid is starting on inters. We'll jump to the back of the grid, so we'll follow the drivers as they come through. So just a quick recap, we've got Theronix on pole, Pui in second, Laur in third, Jetfish in fourth, Efron in fifth, Luke in sixth, Matt Johnson in McLaren in seventh, Richie down in eighth, Evil Master and Shaq in 9 and 10th, Al, codename 2737 in 11th, we've got Always Spinny Rick in 12th, we've got Rodzilla in 13th, RPM The Model Dragos in 14th, DJ Spivvy in 15th, The Mighty Frax in 16th, Shig Zig 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 Zigs in 17th, Zabiaka in 18th, Big Puggy 1987 is from in 19th, and Jens rounding out the top 20 at the back of the grid. Any predictions, Backer?
Well, my prediction is Rick is not going to like this weather.
Really?
Yeah. I do think Lau is really strong in this weather. He knows exactly when to pit and when to switch to the dry tire compound. He's really strong in that part. So I can't tell for Tyranix and Pui. So it's a hard one because the entire top 5 was pretty close to each other.
And do you think, from knowing all the drivers that you know, do you think that it's easier in the wet on controller or wheel?
It's definitely on wheel.
Easier on the wheel, because last season there was a common thought that in the wet was a little bit easier to manage on the controller than the wheel, and then this season people seem to feel the reverse. So
yeah, I do think this entire game is easier when you got a wheel, because there's so much small movements in the car you need to correct, and yeah, a wheel has a way bigger rotation, so easier in my opinion.
well, we have the grid lining up, and we will try to get the best camera shot. There's the predicted strategy for Pui. As we move down, we have 1 light, 2 light, 3, 4 and 5, and a glitch, and away we go. So we will move back up the grid as the
Rick is
drivers
already last.
As the drivers come into T1, Pui tries to go up the inside.
And there's a little bit of chaos there. A little bit much of chaos there. I don't know who this McLaren is, who is just blocking the Alpha Tauri there of Jens. It's strange actually.
We're just trying to keep up with the action on the grid as things settle down. We will move into the in-car view shortly as we go through. Looks like we've had a relatively clean first lap. Maybe Efron is looking a little bit behind at the back as we move
he faced
through.
the other way.
Frax has gone through. We had a Mercedes cut in the chicane there,
Yeah.
so obviously that first lap is causing us some
And
difficulty. And
Rodzilla
we have
is off.
a Haas that's just gone off, so we will now switch to so
And
Rodzilla has spun.
Happening a lot at the moment.
We don't have a safety car, so Theronix has taken a 1.6 second lead over Pui. We sounds like we've got a partial sound glitch, but I think that's just because it's in the rain. We've got UNKN error in the chat saying that straight line traction is much easier on pad, but coming into a corner is definitely beneficial on the wheel. So thanks for that. Behind Pui, always the same one, always on lap 2 or lap 3. So we will just stay on board with Lau for the moment.
Yeah, it says to me Loud is in P2, but he's behind Evil Master in P5.
He is indeed. This will correct itself after.
Let's see, there we go.
So we've got Evil Master that's taken Lau. So Lau is in P5. Evil Master has worked his way up to P4. So the student has obviously learnt very well from the Master. So he's doing quite well there, moving his way up through the field. We got Luke following them in 6th. So Luke's obviously playing it quite cautious, which makes sense because they've seen the weather. And he's in probably one of the nicest looking cars on the grid, if I do say so myself.
But who's also on a lap, and Jetfish as well.
As Evil Master goes wide and Lau takes Evil Master, and Luke is trying around the outside. As I go to my telemetry system, I'm just going to have a quick look to see if we've got any damage, and we have no damage at all from any of the drivers, as Shaq and Evil Master both get past Luke. And we've got also F1 Richie coming up the inside. Evil Master goes slightly wide and Shaq goes through on the inside of T1. Richie just watching carefully, watching and waiting. He's like a praying mantis.
Yes, he is.
He's just watching and waiting for his opportunity to strike. Hopefully we're not cursing him. Let's go and have a little look a bit further down the grid. So we've got codename 2737 Al, that's right behind Richie. Luke's dropped down the field a little bit more now, so Luke's sat in behind this group.
Oh, Jens is off.
Struggling.
I just got him. He was in the train.
That was really unfortunate for him on his debut. We got the Mighty Frax that's just following Luke. He's a little bit behind, 1.5 seconds behind. Looks like we've got the timing glitch again for another lap on the times. Behind the Mighty Frax we've got Zabiaka in the Alpha Tauri. So if we just have a little look at positions on the detail, and we can see there. So Zabiaka's made up 8 positions, the Mighty Frax has made 5. So the biggest winner in terms of position gained at this stage is Zabiaka. He's up 8. Shaq's up 5, but Zabiaka's up 8. Matt Johnston's 50.
Oh, yeah.
So then we've got Big Puggy, the mighty Welshman in the Williams, carefully following the Mighty Frax. Big Puggy will be disappointed that he's not going to start on the mediums. And
DRS just got enabled, so there is grip for slicks.
Yeah,
they will never change. Oh yeah, that's awesome.
They won't change yet.
No, but watch my words. Loud is going in. He can time this as the best. Watch my words.
So we're on board.
Will never enable DRS on intercities if there's not enough grip.
Well, looking at this, I usually find that they enable DRS 1 lap before it's ready. So we'll see. If somebody pits this lap, we can dive in with them and we can see. We've got a yellow in sector 1, which looks to be Jens again. So he's having a really, really tricky first time out in RPM.
Loud going in, like I told you, and Matt Johnston is a big winner here, who already took his mediums before the DRS enabled.
And Al has gone in as well, so Al has followed Loud. As we go to the tyres, let's have a look at the detail, because we're more interested in the tyres than... So Matt Johnston did take the mediums, but he's got to get round on the mediums.
Loud now coming out of the pits, so is Al on those mediums, going a lap earlier than the rest of the pack, so this will get interesting now.
So we'll jump on board with Lau for this first lap, and we'll see how these mediums are handling.
From the onboard, there does not look to be any dry line, in my opinion, but also Loud doesn't look to struggle too much, and it seems to be dry as well.
It does look deceiving, but the rain has definitely stopped. So there must be a crossover point where the intermediates or the worn intermediates, and we got a yellow in sector 3. So let's have a jump back up and see who's doing what. We've got the race leader. Theronix is not pitting, so Theronix is staying out another lap on those inters. The same for Pui.
Laur just gained 1.5 seconds only this lap on Spiffy. 5e. He's also putting a purple sector 2. And
yeah, this was the lap. This was the lap. I think Jetfish has got this right. This was the lap to pit, if you're unsure. We've got Evil Master pitting, Richie's pitting, Luke, Big Puggy, Shigs. Frax
Lauder will
stayed
get
out.
all these guys. Except Jetfish.
Yeah,
But he will be right on his back again.
He's quite a bit behind Jetfish actually.
Yeah, it looked not too much when I saw Jetfish exiting the pit. And
I think Jetfish was a little. He was a bit ahead anyway, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. I won't mention who spun around.
And we have our other joint chief steward joining us in the chat, Mr. Marco, saying a nice cheers to the duo in commentary. So a big cheers to you, and I will take a good drink of my second bottle of Desperado in a moment.
Yeah, I'm out already after this one.
Yeah, no, we need it. We almost need like a red flag for 5 minutes so that we can nip down and get another top up.
Yeah, I could use it.
Here we go. Theronix, race leader, has pitted. So here we're going to see whether the guys behind him. So the first driver on the mediums is Jetfish in 4th place. So we'll just jump on board with Jetfish now. Yeah, he's definitely going to pass them. I wonder what the gap is going to be. I think they've left it 1 lap too late. Pui's gone onto the hards. So Pui is intending to do a 1-stop as Jetfish comes out ahead
And takes the lead.
Theronix. And Jetfish's tyres will be a little bit older, 1 lap older, but they will be up to temperature, of course. So hopefully Theronix just lets them come to him. Laur is in 3rd place. Pui is the only one that's gone on the hards. So
Yeah,
he is
Jens
probably
did as well. And Rick is off. Oh no, Rick is getting lapped. That's
well, I've not been on. I can't be blamed for tonight's Rick spins because that's not.
no, that's true.
I can't be
Jens
blamed.
and Rick are the only 2 guys left at the moment.
So just on
It's
the
a bit weird.
on Pui on the hards on lap 7 of 35. So and we have a VSC. 28 laps. Will the hards go 28 laps on this?
28 laps is a lot.
I don't think even the hards will go 20. Well, they probably will go 28 laps without puncturing. But what we found last night was that as soon as the tyres, the peak performance had gone.
There's another.
DRS enabled. Yeah, we might have a. No, I think we're still on. I think it was due to the BSC because they disable. Pui's doing really well to keep up with Laur on these hards. So it's going to be interesting to see what his tyre wear does a little bit later on in the race. We've got another yellow in sector 2. Looks like our timing has played up a little bit again.
I just sent a new invite, sorry, I was. Because Zabiaga had disconnected, so I invited him back in.
That's the,
Laur,
that is
Laur
just
is
the type
is
of guy that you are. You've got
Yeah.
one job to do and you leave that job to go and help out someone else and do another. You're all give.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
You are all give, my friend.
But yeah, Laur's tactic did work, by the way. And I don't know how long will the meetings last. Because
I don't think very long. I think the mediums have got about 16 laps in them. from
They
what
got
some of the
2 laps
guys were
off.
saying last night. But we can monitor the wear and
It's
on the TAS
only
system.
6% is the max on loud at the moment.
As we
in 2
jump on
laps,
board
so-
with Theronix diving up the inside of Jetfish. Jetfish defending, gets the exit out of T1, coming up to T2. Theronix is going to go on the inside. Jetfish would
Looks to
seem
have a
to
little
go
moment.
wide a little
Oh.
bit, and Theronix has a moment as well. So we are getting some battling. We have a yellow in sector 3.
And always Rick is last now. I don't know why. He's even fighting with a Mercedes who lapped him. It's Evil Master.
Jens gets another penalty. I think that Always Rick has probably had the same amount of luck for the new game as probably Evil Master and myself. So it's F1 2021 is not being kind to some people for sure, because in the past Rick was keeping up with Lauer in some races.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess it's how people take to the new game, isn't it? Let's go a bit further mid-pack, because we've concentrated on the leader for a bit. So we got the praying mantis, and I don't know what that is in Italian, but I'm sure if you could tell me if it's in the chat. We've got the praying mantis
Anyone who
F1
speaks
Richie
Italian.
in 7th place on his 2-lap old mediums, closely followed by his world #1 biggest fan Shaq in 8th. So Shaq's having a good race, not too far off the pace. And on those mediums, we've then got Big Puggy in 7th, and Big Puggy, from what we've seen so far in RPM mid-gear, Big Puggy's definitely a driver that seems to come strong towards the end of the race. So that'll be interesting to see exactly how he works his way through. We've got another timing glitch on the screen again, so we will just stay on board
With Richie, because he's fighting.
I'm on board with Puggy at the moment, but it's put him down in 17th, which I don't think is correct at all.
No, Evil Master is in P4 all of a sudden, so Zabiak, oh, it's getting back now, don't worry.
It's coming back. I think it corrects itself when it goes over the line. So while we have this timing glitch, the commentators will just break for a quick hydration break. I'll let you talk for a minute, Backer.
Yeah, go have a little bit of hydration, so am I.
I've just
I don't
spotted
know
on my TAS system that Evil Master has got 41% damage on his front wing. So he will have to pit. There's no way you can finish a race with 41% damage on the front wing.
He looks to be in the pit when I switch to him. That's the worst part.
Oh no, I hope he's not got that glitch again. He looks to be in the pits, but
There's no car and no pit crew.
they've sold his car while he was
They're
driving
just chilling there. Yeah,
No.
unfortunately, Evil. Very unfortunate. And there's
I do hope
something
that
going
this
on
is
with
not
an Alpha
a
Tauri.
big lobby
It's-
glitch again.
Zabiaka's stuck in the grass now. And Rodzilla is out. But Zabiaka is stuck in the grass, breaking
With his
wheel.
car
Everything
falling
is
to
out. And he's
pieces.
on track again. What is this? He just the
saw
game
it.
resetted him on track.
I saw it, I caught it on stream, and the car was
Matt
falling to
Jost
pieces.
collided in him.
And we have a safety car.
What the?
My goodness, these Desperados are good. I can't believe what I'm seeing. So we're now on board with Jens, who's overtaking everybody under the safety car. So it's probably the game telling Jens
No,
that
he-
he must overtake people.
Yeah. But
And
we
as
need to
we
make Jens
know,
aware he should wear a helmet in here.
and as we know, we don't overtake people under the safety car.
But he's lapped, so
So the
Might be
game,
the game selling
the
him.
game will be giving him some strange messages. Yeah, I'm kind of a little bit lost for words on this one because I'm on board with Jens now, and yeah, this is going to be a bit confusing. What we might have to do on this is
We might need to contact the coordinator what's happening around here.
yeah, I don't. I think the game
Check
has
attack
corrected
just went in
itself.
AI. Check.
Well, that will be an immediate penalty for going
And
in AI.
another time,
And
I
another
caught it
time,
on my
Shag.
stream.
We can see you,
I
Shag.
noted it.
So we've got Theronix, who's got no. He's been left the session. He'd asked for another invite. So I don't know
I'm
if,
sending it.
if you can do that for us.
I'm sending it.
Matt Johnston is in the pits to change his wing.
I can't invite him because he's already in.
Let's go on board with Jetfish to see if Theronix has.
He's not in.
He is
He's
not
not in, but
and
I can't invite him.
So, because he's gone to AI, the AI will be set at an extremely low level, and Jetfish will take the lead, as you can see here, with Lau in third place. So that is extremely unfortunate for Theronix. One thing that we have noticed is that lobby disconnections seem to happen more to drivers who are using Wi-Fi rather than an Ethernet cable. So if you are using Wi-Fi, then the suggestion would be to try and use an Ethernet cable.
Raid racing here.
Pui
from
goes
Pui and Lau.
around the outside of Lau, but Theronix is going to really get in the way.
Lau using Tyranix as his defensive shield, what was a very smart move there.
I'm on board with Lau at the moment. Pui goes slightly.
Ooh, they made a bit of contact
they
there.
both made a bit of contact there. And now
Pui is off.
He's off. So that one will be probably reported to the stewards. Yeah, I was just saying about the cable connection. It does make a massive difference. And
that's happening a lot now.
Incident on the start finish. So
I don't know what's happening in here. We might need to
we have
speak
a
with
lobby.
the coordinate.
We
Because we've got a
problem.
yellow flag in sector 1 the entire time. There's no car there. We need to speak with Spinning Rick.
Well, we're on lap 14, so if we were to... Cody's and EA just need to get this lobby glitch server situation sorted out for definite.
Also Richie is out, seems to be out. And Loud is out. They're both reacting what the fuck guys in the chat.
I'm not following the chat because I've got the other...
And Dragos is off.
Okay, let's make a call. I think it's time for a lobby restart. So bear with us, and we will end this stream, and we will come back very shortly with the conclusion, part 2 of Mid-Gear in Hungary. Cheers, guys.